Okay, look. I'm not going to talk about the mouse, okay? I'm not going to talk about it, okay? Okay, what I will do is we'll talk about Prisoner on Hell Planet, okay? Will that satisfy you? Art Spiegelman, Prisoner on Hell Planet. This is what started it all, okay? Let's talk about that. We're not going to do mouse. I'm not ready for mouse, but we'll do this, okay? Let's do it. Come on, let's go. We're going to do it.
Are you ready?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Art of Comics. I'm your host, Andres Salazar. Hope everyone's doing fine. I found what a wonderful little find I got. This is Pantheon Books, which does some amazing books. They do Chris Ware's books as well. Art Spiegelman's Breakdowns. A glorious book. It's very large. I bought this on sale. I got a little bit of a steal. This guy had it on sale for $19.95. It retails at $27. I said I want it. And he's like, "Oh, that's a misprint." I go, "Look, it says right there." So I got it. But he kind of gave me some gut for it. It's like, dude. So this is great. I'm not going to talk about everything. We're just going to talk about one story in here. We will talk about the others another time. But today, I want to talk about something that actually has been on my mind for a while, and I've wanted to discuss it. It is the beginning of Mouse. It is what started everything. It is one of his first comics ever. It is Art Spiegelman's story, just a 4-page story called Prisoner on the Hell Planet, A Case History. If you don't know Mouse and you don't know Art Spiegelman in that story, I don't know what to tell you, but I will say this. Please go get educated. Go get Mouse. It's spelled M-A-U-S. Go read it. Go watch some videos. Go read about it. It is my favorite book of all time. I love it to death. And I'm not talking about it on this channel yet. I will when I'm ready. Just not ready. Just not want to do that yet. I mean, I only have 800 subscribers. We got at least to get a couple thousand before I start rolling up in those guys. But in lieu of that, I do want to talk about this because this is kind of what started everything. Young guy, so give you the spiel on Spiegelman. Young cartoonist, kind of coming in the world. This is like one of his first pieces he's ever done. Submitted it into, I think it's Raw, maybe. His parents were Holocaust survivors. So this whole event of World War II and the Holocaust and everything is that an elephant in the room, or maybe an elephant in the room that does talk a lot. I'm not sure, depending on the situation. And it's a part of his DNA. It's a part of their family, everything. So he talks about it. And it's what's great about his writing is the fearlessness, the candid, the ability to just say, kind of like what I was talking about with Chester Brown's Paying for It. It's just, if you have the balls to go there, you know, that's what grabs people, is having those kind of cajones. So let's just go for it. Let's read it. You'll notice this has got that alt comics style, right? It's got that raw zap, indie, very, 60s indie, etching, all these different kind of art styles, which were really cool. So remember, all these comic artists, they knew Marvel and DC. They grew up drawing Spider-Man. They knew how to draw that style. But they decided to do something different. They love the medium, but they want to put their own kind of more mature art flavor to it and design. And I just think that's just the coolest. So, in 1968, my mother killed herself. She left no note. Just starts off right there. His mom killed herself, left no note. My father found her in the bathtub when he got home from work, her wrist slashed and an empty bottle of pills nearby. That's his mom. or his dad coming in. I was living with my parents for the most part, as I agreed to do for my release from the state mental hospital several months before. I had just spent a weekend with my girlfriend. My parents didn't like her. I was getting late home. I suppose that if I had gotten home when expected, I would have found her body. When I saw the crowd, I had a pang of fear. I suspected the worst, but I didn't let myself know. Real story, his mom, even though surviving the Holocaust, surviving Auschwitz, surviving those horrors and trauma, a lot of these victims wound up killing themselves. The grief, the pain, the suffering was too much. So she killed herself, and just crappy all around. It's just horrible. No words can put in. Words don't do justice. The pain. Okay, flip the page. A cousin herded me away from the scene. Come to the doctors. Your mother is sick. He'll explain. Dr. Orens lived nearby. Sit down, Arthur. I thought I should be the one to let you know. Your mother killed herself. She's dead. Now notice the positioning here in this kind of maniacal, evil kind of way, and the angle and the warped background. And I mean, this is not a pleasant moment or a pleasant, image here. This is pretty freaking scary. I could avoid the truth no longer. The doctor's words clattered inside me. I felt confused. I felt angry. I felt numb. I didn't exactly feel like crying, but figured I should. And we see him. She's dead. A suicide. And then there's like a laughter. There's like this horribleness. We see the tear falling in. Now, my boy. No, let him cry. It's good for him. We went home. My father had completely fallen apart. Oi, Artie, why? Such a tragedy and not even a note. I was expected to comfort him. Mother. Somehow the funeral arrangements were made. And for $950, we have a bronze casket with bronze-colored velvet. Of course, for $2,000, we can, protect what you have. So his uncle or people are trying to do the funeral arrangements. He's stuck with his father, who's inconsolable, and he's the one who's supposed to be... Notice he's a prisoner. Notice, by the way, I didn't mention his outfit. He's coming out of the mental hospital, but he's got this prisoner outfit, right? He is a prisoner of his emotions, of his family, of his pain, all these things. That night was bad. My father insisted we sleep on the floor. An old Jewish custom, I guess. He held me and moaned to himself all night. I was uncomfortable. We were scared. The next day at the funeral home was worse. And he's got some Hebrew here. I don't know what it says. My father fought for self-control and prayed. I was pretty spaced out in those days. I recited to my mother and the Tibetan Book of the Dead. O nobly born, in your journey through the formless void, remember the unity of all things. And then the father jumping on the casket. Anna. It was too much. I had to leave. He just walks out. He leaves, and it's like horrible. A friend of my family found me out in the hall. Now you cry? Better you cry when your mother was still alive. Right? I felt nauseous. The guilt was overwhelming. And then he turns the camera, and we've got this like wobbly look to everything. It's really gorgeous. I mean, the textures he's using really are incredible. This is one of the great things of working in black and white, is the ability to use textures to really show layers and show dimensionality is this stuff. It's really great. It's really good stuff. But my guilt was overwhelming. And it goes in as almost a cartoonish style. Just really great work. The next week, we spent mourning. My father's friends all offered me hostility mixed with their condolences. Arthur, we're so sorry. It's his fault, the punk. They think it's my fault. But for the most part, I was left alone with my thoughts. Menopausal depression. Hitler did it. Mommy, bitch. Artie, I remember the last time I saw her. She came to my room. It was late at night. Artie, do you still love me? Do you? I turned away, resentful of the way she tightened the umbilical cord. Sure, Ma. She walked out and closed the door. Click. Well, Mom, if you're listening, congratulations. You've committed the perfect crime. You put me here, shorted all my circuits, cut my nerve endings, and crossed my wires. You murdered me, Mommy, and you left me here to take the rap. Pipe down, Max. Some of us are trying to sleep. So that's the story. It's really intense, and it's brilliantly done. It was done in 1972, a year before I was born. It's only 4 pages, and yet so much is said in these 4 pages. So much story, so much information, emotion. It's real. I mean, it is real. The art is great. The ending is great. And it's what spurred upon doing Mouse. And that is a seminal piece of work. And we will talk about it at some point. But that's the story. And this is why I love comics. This is like one of those things where you love comics because it can communicate a lot in just a small amount. And that's part of Art Spiegelman's Breakdowns. Great book. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you're being safe and love your families.